So the two-handed backhand speed up is super important in mixed doubles because not only can you take it right at the female player in front of you, but also the male player who is cross court from you has to be pinching middle pretty hard because the female player that is in front of you is going to be usually looking to slide to the sideline, and then that male player in the middle has to cover a lot of middle. And then the other thing yeah, what's up? I'm in the middle of a podcast.
15 minutes.
Oh no, I'm doing a second podcast. Wait, are you ready for 2 p.m. with Anita? Oh, the hearing in here is horrible. She can't even hear
me. This is the moment we waited for. Everything you want is right here. We gon' give them what they came for. We gon' take it up from last year. Watch the game change. Watch the game change. Watch the game change. Watch the game change, yeah.
All right, so we're back with another episode of my show, and this episode is going to be dedicated almost entirely to mixed doubles. So I am something of a mixed doubles specialist. I don't want to call it a specialist. I mean, people say that mixed doubles is my best event, that I am better at mixed doubles than any other event, and that's true, personally, right now, at least. I am definitely very confident in my mixed doubles game. I have, got like the second most medals in mixed doubles. Seems like we're always getting to the final in mixed doubles, and a lot of that is to credit of Anna, obviously. I mean, Anna's an unbelievable player, but I'm definitely more confident in my mixed doubles than anything else, I would say. Even who I am as, anything, not even just pickleball, right? Just anything in general. My confidence in mixed doubles is high. So we're going to talk about specifically why the two-handed backhand is super, super important and valuable and helpful in mixed doubles if you are a male player. So if you're a male player, having a two-handed backhand is helpful for reasons that you might not even be considering right now. We'll talk about the obvious reasons, which are that you can speed up when it's wide to your side off the bounce to the female player in front of you who is on the right. If you have a one-handed backhand, you cannot speed the ball up off the bounce. If you think that you can speed up off of the bounce with a one-handed backhand, I guess you could, but good luck doing that against any female pros or anyone really who is decent enough to counter the ball, because a one-handed backhand speed up off the bounce is just not something that I think will be a consistent play for anybody. We're just going to get into why the two-handed backhand speed up is super important in mixed doubles, not why it's superior to the one-handed backhand speed up, because we don't even need to talk about that. So the two-handed backhand speed up is super important in mixed doubles because not only can you take it right at the female player in front of you, but also the male player who is cross court from you has to be pinching middle pretty hard because the female player that is in front of you is going to be usually looking to slide to the sideline, and then that male player in the middle has to cover a lot of middle. And then the other thing yeah, what's up? I'm in the middle of a podcast.
15 minutes.
Oh no, I'm doing a second podcast. Wait, are you ready for 2 p.m. with Anita? Oh, the hearing in here is horrible. She can't even hear. We could even put that in. So the two-handed backhand speed up in mixed doubles is super important because not only are you able to go middle and go down the line, but the threat of the two-handed backhand speed up is going to leave the left side of the player, the male player who is cross court from you, wide open. So for me, I love to speed up the two-handed backhand in mixed, but since I have the two-handed backhand cross court dink also, if that male player who's cross court from me is trying to jam middle and really try to protect their female partner by taking that 70% of the court, I can go behind them with a really hard cross-court angle also. So I think the two-handed backhand at the kitchen is even more important in mixed doubles than it is in men's doubles, because in mixed doubles, being a male player, it's all about getting creative, creating offense. And creating offense with a two-handed backhand is a heck of a lot easier than a one-handed backhand. I can promise you that. I took a clinic actually when I first got started playing, a little less than 3 years ago. I signed up for a clinic. I just put two hands on the backhand because I always use a two-handed backhand in tennis and in ping pong. And I was like, well, pickleball is kind of in between tennis and ping pong, so might as well use a two-handed backhand. The guy running the clinic, he was like 75 years old. I'm not going to blame him, but he told me, he said, pickleball, you only use a one-handed backhand. You don't need two hands on the backhand. The paddle is pretty small and pretty light. Why would you need two hands? You can just use one. And I was like, okay. So then I tried to use a one-handed backhand for the first week, and then I quickly realized that that is not the optimal way to play pickleball, just out of my own personal experience. And of course, I've actually seen some comments of people saying, you don't need a two-handed backhand in pickleball. I guess that's true. I guess you don't need one. I mean, if I wanted to, I'm a pretty strong guy. I could use a one-handed backhand and I could hit the ball. It's a light paddle, it's a light ball, so that's true. But the best backhand you could hit, if you want to be the best player you can be, you want to put two hands on it. And I think that's more or less confirmed, because if you look at the top 20 male players, 19 out of 20 of them, 19 out of 20 will use a two-handed backhand at some point during the game. So whether they're putting two hands on the backhand for every shot, or whether they're doing it just for their reset, or just for their wide backhand counter, 19 out of 20 of them are using a two-handed backhand at some point.
So, before we get into this episode, we have to tell you about a must-have for anyone in the pickleball world. If you're an avid pickleball player and don't have this app downloaded on your phone, you are missing out on so much. Meet the Selkirk TV app, the first and only free streaming and on-demand app dedicated to everything pickleball. Whether you're a player, a fan, or just curious about the sport, Selkirk TV is your one-stop shop for all things pickleball. So get exclusive early access to content you won't find anywhere else, like lesson courses, podcasts like mine, and more. Imagine improving your game with the pros or catching the latest pickleball buzz before anyone else. Need more? How about a 24/7 live stream featuring new content daily, from gripping PPA tournament matches like the ones that I'm in, or live coverage of a grandstand court, to insightful player interviews. Selkirk TV has it all. You can dive into the action anytime, anywhere. If you're already watching this episode on the app, thank you. But if you aren't, what are you doing? Download the Selkirk TV app now. It's a must-have for anyone who loves pickleball. Visit selkirk.com/TV to download the app today.
Not a coincidence. So, anyway, that was just a quick segue there. One other great thing about the two-handed backhand is being able to hit a two-handed backhand drive and then crash with your forehand after it. So this is a little bit of a tougher play, but if you hit a hard serve and then you're able to drive a two-handed backhand instead of a forehand, you don't have to run around as much and then sacrifice that middle area. You can instead just drive it with the two-handed backhand and stay where you are, and then move forward and then crash the middle with the forehand. If you can only speed up or drive with your forehand, you have to run all the way around it. You're in a tougher spot, and then you've got to run all the way to the middle if you want to try to crash your own drive or drop. So having the two-handed backhand means you actually get to move less, because you can do more with your backhand as opposed to just only being able to create with your forehand. So that's another thing. But the final thing that is so important about the two-handed backhand in mixed doubles is that when you are at the net and you are trying to keep people back, you're at the kitchen, you're trying to, let's say you've got a mixed team in front of you that's trying to work their way into the kitchen, and then you're the male player in mixed, so you've got to take most of the net and try to be as aggressive as you can. You can be more aggressive with your forehand and move to your right even more if you're a righty playing the left, because what's behind you to your left side, you can cover more with a two-handed backhand. If you just have a one-handed backhand, if you have to reach to your left, assuming you're a righty, the more you reach, the less powerful it is. But with a two-handed backhand, you can reach quite far and have a lot of power because you have that left hand behind the paddle. So I think all in all, these are some of the reasons why I am probably a better mixed doubles player as of right now than a men's doubles player, because the two-handed backhand helps me a ton in so many different ways. And I think it's actually more useful in mixed doubles than it is in men's, although it's definitely still useful in men's doubles also. So next thing we're going to talk about is the use case for playing the right side if you're a righty, playing the right side in mixed doubles. Okay, and that would be the same as playing the left side in mixed doubles if you are a lefty, as a guy, as a male player. So for me, I will sometimes be on the right side in mixed doubles. And people don't realize it. They think, well, you only play the left in mixed doubles, right? As a guy, I actually think there is a use case to play the right here and there and still take the middle. You're still taking most of the balls and being aggressive. You're just being aggressive with your backhand in the middle. And I think it's a totally underrated play. I've played the right and won tournaments or matches on the right with Anna many times. Still taking the middle. You're not just stepping out of the way. You're still taking 70% of the court or so. The reason you do it is if you are playing with a female player, one of the reasons, if you're playing with a female player who is losing the forehand cross-court dink rally a lot, then I would highly recommend trying to play the right and just seeing how that goes. One thing, if you are on the right, as a righty male player in mixed doubles, you can actually take more of the middle than if you are on the left. The reason for that is when you're covering behind you, you have a whole forehand covering behind you. So when I play the right in mixed doubles, I'm almost standing in the middle because if they try to beat me behind me, they have to go to my forehand. Super important thing. So you can take the middle, and obviously having a two-handed backhand helps with this a lot. You can also speed up more frequently. You can speed it up more frequently at the girl who is on the right because you're standing closer to the middle, so your female partner who is now to your left has even less court to cover, so she can just sit on one side, whether it's her forehand or her backhand, whichever side that she wants to be more prepared for. So obviously there's sacrifices. You can't reach as far with your backhand and do as much with your backhand in the middle on fourths, but I think at the kitchen, it can be an advantage. Sorry, I've got the hiccups. Last thing, which is helpful about playing the right in mixed doubles, you can basically take the male player who's on the left in front of you out of the match because it becomes even more easy to avoid that player if you on the right are standing in the middle, funneling everything to the girl that is cross court from you, and then your partner, your female partner to your left is just dinking straight on. It becomes very tough for that left side male player in front of you on the other team to get involved. There's not very much of a clear path for them to get involved unless the female in front of you is earning pretty often from the right. But not a lot of female players earning from the right. But then again, that's why they probably should. So that brings me to my next topic. One thing that I think is super valuable for female players to learn in mixed is earning from the right. Etta Wright does it very well, and Lee does it sometimes to me. I hate it when that happens. When a female player in front of me earnies me, I just want to go home. It's one of the worst experiences in pickleball because it happens, and it feels like it shouldn't happen. I feel like it really just feel like I don't deserve it, but I do, and it happens way too often. And I think it's a great play because me as a male player on the left, I'm looking to funnel the ball to the female who happens to be in front of me on the right. And if she's able to sometimes, if her partner on the left of her hits an aggressive dink to me and I have an open face paddle, I'm always going to look to reset that to the girl in front of me because they have less reach. It's easier to make a ball bounce against a female player than a male player for the most part, especially at least on the pro tour. If they're looking to earnie that one and cut that one off, it makes things a lot tougher for me. So you want to earnie that one with a backhand, ladies, if you're on the right. And I would highly recommend getting comfortable with that. You don't have to be that tall to do it. You can actually just run around the kitchen and set yourself up for it because you're not covering as much court. And you have the male to your left who's taking 75% of the court anyway, so you're sort of protected in that sense. I would highly recommend any female player get comfortable, at least show it, at least threaten that earning from the right. Because if I have an open paddle face, I am not going to speed it up at you. You are safe. So if my paddle face is open to the sky, I would highly recommend looking for the earnie. And this is a little more of an advanced podcast. I don't know. I think this is probably for 4.5s and above. Maybe we should put that in the beginning because I don't want you guys watching this if you can't really act on a lot of this info. Let's actually do that. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you learned a lot. And if you want some more 3.5 and below advice or 4.0 and below advice, you can find that on my newsletter, and you can find that on my YouTube channel, James Ignatowich Newsletter. It's in my Instagram bio or my YouTube channel, which is just James Ignatowich YouTube. Anyway, thank you for watching, guys. Hope you learned a lot.